Did you know that over 10% of the population in the United States suffers from diabetes? According to the CDC, that's more than 34 million Americans that suffer from this debilitating disease. So if you or someone you know suffers from diabetes, you want to share this video with them. And this is a totally preventable disease, and it's based on lifestyle and diet choices. So today in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the top 3 foods to eat to prevent and to help reverse diabetes. And as you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So let's get into it. Hi everyone, I'm Wendy Myers of MyersDetox.com. And today I want to talk to you about the top 3 foods that can make a huge difference if you have diabetes. Unfortunately today, most folks don't realize how much of an impact their diet plays in their health, or they just don't have time to eat a healthy diet. So today I'll cover how food choices directly impact our bodies, especially if you're diabetic. And I'm also going to talk about some top foods that diabetics should be putting on their menus. Your diet plays an essential role in diabetes prevention and management. In fact, what you eat is one of the primary determining factors in whether or not you develop type 2 diabetes. But in my opinion, toxins are the #1 cause of diabetes. But once you get type 2 diabetes, your diet plays a huge role in the management of the disease. Okay, then let's just adjust our diet, right? But there's a problem. If you're dealing with diabetes, you have to cut out sugar. But if you eat anything that contains carbohydrates, you're eating what's called glucose or simple sugars, and that can raise your blood sugar. Glucose is also the primary energy source in most foods, and it's also the primary form of storage in our bodies. So do you have to build your diet around avoiding all sugars? Well, no, because not all sugars are created equal. And the goal with diabetes is to manage blood sugar, not avoid sugar altogether, because you still need some carbohydrates in your diet. The more processed a carbohydrate is, the faster it's going to enter into your bloodstream and raise your blood sugar. Highly processed carbohydrates include white bread, flours, bleached flours, sugar, candy, soda, ice cream, things of that nature. And they can create huge spikes in your blood sugar that can overwhelm your system, especially if your cells are not responsive to insulin. On the other side, brown rice, beans, vegetables, and whole grains, say like quinoa, these provide carbohydrates that are minimally processed, and they don't cause a huge spike in your blood sugar. They take more time to digest, so they're released slowly into your bloodstream. Protein and fat also play a positive role in diabetes management. Protein helps to slow down blood sugar spikes because it takes longer for protein to develop, so it just slows the entry of glucose or simple carbohydrates into your bloodstream, so it reduces or mutes a blood sugar spike when you eat carbohydrates with proteins. But there's one thing that you need to be careful about. When people think of protein, they think of conventionally raised meat and conventionally raised dairy products. But the problem with these, they're raised with hormones and antibiotics, so these create a whole other problem on their own. So if you're already dealing with health issues, the last thing you want is conventionally raised meat, dairy, and eggs that can have hormones in it and pesticides, things that alter your hormones and cause other health issues in your body. So you want to make sure you're choosing organic chicken, organic eggs, organic meat, or ideally pasture-raised and organic, or what's called pasture-raised or grass-fed and organic. That's what you want in an ideal world. So if you're brave enough to find out the truth about dairy products, I created an awesome video that you can check out right here. It's called the 10 most dangerous foods in the world. And I dare you to watch that video to find out if you're eating any of these toxic foods. Fat also has a similar effect to protein, although it's not as strong. It can definitely mute blood sugar spikes. So if you're looking for a snack, a high-fat snack is perfect if you're diabetic. And also consuming foods with lots of fiber in them are also key for you if you're diabetic. Although technically a type of carbohydrate, fiber won't raise your blood sugar when it doesn't get absorbed into your bloodstream. Fiber not only skips absorption, but it also slows down the release of carbohydrates into your bloodstream, much like fat and protein. This is why whole food carbohydrates that retain their fiber tend to slow down the release of glucose into your bloodstream. So with everything that I've just said, there's a few foods for diabetics that are fantastic for you to eat because of the way that your body processes them. So if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes or just worried that you're heading in that direction, you want to make sure you include these 3 foods on your grocery shopping list. So #1 is nuts. So everybody knows that nuts are really good for you. They're a great snack. They don't have to be refrigerated. They're very satiating. They're high in fat and they're packed with nutrients. but they're particularly beneficial for people with diabetes because in the research it shows that on a regular basis consuming nuts like pistachios, almonds, and walnuts, etc., can help reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Nuts are rich in fat, but they're also a great source of fiber. As I said before, fat does not turn into sugar in your body, so nuts are great for diabetics because nuts are high in fat. They also contain a lot of fiber, which slows down digestion and will slow down any blood sugar spikes, especially if you eat them with high carbohydrate foods. Another really important study that showed that diabetics who consume nuts regularly also help reduce the risk of developing cardiovascular disease. And there's lots of research out there that shows that people who consume nuts more than a few times a week have a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure or hypertension, and high cholesterol. And although some people run away from nuts because they have a high caloric value because they're high in fat, they're a great choice for diabetics. Number 2 is apple cider vinegar. So I love apple cider vinegar because it has the ability to lower blood sugar. Research shows that consuming a spoonful of apple cider vinegar before a meal can help enhance your cell's sensitivity to insulin. This is crucial for people with type 2 diabetes because their cells don't recognize insulin as well as a healthy person, so consuming apple cider vinegar can be a game changer for them. In fact, one study showed that people who consumed 1 spoonful of apple cider vinegar with their meals had a dramatically increased sensitivity to insulin and lower blood sugar. And if you don't like taking a whole spoonful of apple cider vinegar on its own, you can also mix 1 to 2 tablespoons in a glass of water and just drink that with your meal. And if you want to learn more about the benefits of apple cider vinegar, you can check out my video right here, the top 15 benefits of apple cider vinegar. I went into all the different benefits. There's so many of them. It's not just for diabetics. So number 3 is fatty fish. So fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. They're very anti-inflammatory and they're a perfect food if you have diabetes. So inflammation is one of the side effects of having diabetes. You know, there's a chicken and egg conundrum. Was it the inflammation first or the diabetes? But consuming omega-3 fatty acids is key in reducing and controlling inflammation. So consuming omega-3 fats is crucial for diabetics. In addition, fish is also an excellent source of protein. And as I said initially, protein is key for helping keep even blood sugar levels, which is crucial for diabetics. And interestingly, there was one study that showed that consuming fatty fish helped to control blood sugar more than eating fish with lower levels of fat. So it's not just the protein in the fish that's helping to control blood sugar. And also make sure when you're choosing your fish, choose fatty fish over the lower fat fish. But you also want to choose wild-caught fish over farmed fish because farmed fish have a whole host of problems I won't get into right now, but you want to be eating wild-caught fish. They have healthier fats, and that's going to be more beneficial to your health. So in conclusion, diet is crucial for diabetics and can lay that foundation for setting them up for better health and even reversing their diabetes. So if your loved one has diabetes or you just want to stay away from it, adjusting your meal plan is the first step in making that change. So first, be aware that not all carbohydrates are created equal. So beans, vegetables, and whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, these don't break down as quickly as processed carbohydrates. They don't spike your blood sugar like things like white bread, table sugar, ice cream, candy, soda, etc. These will spike your blood sugar. Anytime you feel that urge to reach for a sweet, grab a bagful of nuts instead. Fatty fish are also a great source of protein that help to curb blood sugar spikes. And don't forget, the time and effort that you put into your diet improves your health in your life over the long term. It pays dividends to pay attention to your diet. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you want to get my videos every week, and click notifications too if you want to make sure you get a notification every time I publish a new healthy video for you. So I'm Wendy Myers. Thanks for tuning in.